channel. Today I'm going to make yet another repotting video, and today I'm going to repot my Dendrobium victoria-reginae. As you can see here, as you can see, the leaves are getting looking a little bit dehydrated, a little bit wrinkly, but and I'm having a hard time keeping up with the watering as well. Although it's sitting next to my humidifier and I water it every other day, and I think that's too much. So yeah, I put it here in some water in order to loosen this thick and tightly packed sphagnum moss up a little bit. It's gonna stay there. And I bloomed this variety before. It was sitting, my old one was mature piece and it was really huge. And it was sitting next to my balcony door, which had ventilation holes and lots of humidity and lots of draft, cold draft was coming in through the holes through the door. And I had this plant next to it. And it seemed to be doing great since it bloomed for me on 3 pseudobulbs. And the newest growths were getting long, and yeah, it really enjoyed it. But then they changed the doors and windows in my apartment, and now I lost the humidity, and I can see it. It's a sign on all of my orchids, and I'm not really satisfied. It's a hard time for me to keep up with the humidity these days. But that's another story. Okay, back to repotting. This one is supposed to be sitting in a small pot, as goes for most dendrobiums, I guess. And this one likes an airy media, but irrigation from above. You shouldn't dip the pot or anything, because it's going to stay soggy too long. But it likes being moist, so it's yeah, you have to weigh the good parts and the bad parts and see what happens. All right, I'm gonna make some holes. I don't know if you can see. Ah, it's a lot of smoke here, yeah. Some ventilation holes. I'm gonna make some ventilation holes. Just quick one here like this. So yeah, it's quite even now. The most important thing is that you got ventilation holes in the bottom. Yeah, that should do the trick. Just like that. And now let's see here what we got in our pot. Let's release it from the tag. And now let's see. Oh, I should really treat this one as a seedling, but since it's obviously is mature, so wow, look. Can you see? Can you see? There's quite a lot of good roots in there. Yeah. I didn't expect that. But they're hanging on to a really small thread here. Whoa. What to do? Well, I have to be really careful with this guy. That much I can say. Maybe it's not so bad after all. Maybe I can just do it. No, I cannot do anything about this media. I have to get rid of it. It smells bad. No, it smells like, not mush, yeah, some kind of mushrooms. It's just like mushrooms, I guess. Yeah. Whoa. You see here what happens when I release it from the media. So careful. I have to be so careful with it. So now I released the orchid from the old sphagnum moss, and I sprayed a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, 3%. What's left of it. Look at the roots. Did you really expect that? A plant that looks like this? No. But it makes me happy, and I hope the roots are capable of branching. But anyways, now it's out of the media, and I would like to replace the media to something else. I would like to replace it with coconut husk. Comes from this package. It's a pressed coconut husk to put into water to loosen it up. And I'll also use a little bit of perlite, my favorite concept, perlite and sphagnum moss, cut sphagnum moss in small pieces. And this medium-sized fir bark, and of course some charcoal, some pieces of charcoal in it as well. Yes, let's see here what I'm doing. Yeah, as I said, I'm going to use this little plastic pot with holes in it, ventilation holes that I made. I'm going to put some of the chunky bark in the bottom, just for some ventilation and to make the media more airy in the bottom of the pot. And it goes for the other stuff. I will mix it up. Mix the media all together here, like this. And it's a little bit too much. Let's just see here. All right. It's going to be hanging. It's going to be hanging over the edge, of course. So I have to adjust that with a stake later on. But just get started. Just put some media inside here. The roots seem so fragile, so I'm a little bit scared of touching them and pressing too hard. But as you can see, it's a real loose media. But of course, it's going to be a little bit pressed after a while, after time. But most of my seedlings, and even dendrobium seedlings, they have enjoyed being in coconut husk fiber, or not fiber, husk pieces. I know this guy on eBay that's called Blue Cattleya, and he grows all his seedlings, Cattleya seedlings, in this kind of media. And he recommended not to repot it for at least 1 year when he got a seedling from him. And I did not, and they were doing great. Even the Doviana seedlings were doing great until I repotted it, of course. So, but as long as I stacked this media, all of my seedlings were doing fabulously. They were doing great, so it's a great media. Yeah, I think that's it. Not too much around the stem here, perhaps. Press it a little bit. I think you can stand that. Yes. And now we're gonna make a few holes again. I want to press it down a little bit. I don't want it to fall out of the pot. So I'm gonna stick a hole in there. Yeah. In order to press it down a little bit to make it stay put in the pot. A little bit like this. Yeah. So you can see it properly. Yeah. And now I'm gonna cut the stake here both ends, thank you. This sharp end, I don't like that in my hand. And yeah, let's sterilize the tag a little bit. This handwritten tag, Victoria-reginae from Schwerter. So this is the finished result of the repotting of my Victoria-reginae. 3 weeks later, after the repotting, yeah, she still seems to be doing great. She lost 2 leaves, I think, but the ones she still got, they're green and they're not wrinkly. They're okay. And she also pushed out a little thingy here. I'm not really sure yet what it is. If it's a keiki or a little flower spike in a way. But, well, we shall see. The future would tell, and if it's a flower spike, I will of course do an update of this plant for you. Alright, thank you so much for watching today, and yeah, please subscribe to my channel. Alright, have a good day. Bye bye.